All right. Looks like we are live, so I'm going to give it just a moment here. If you are tuning in and seeing us live, good morning to you, or maybe possibly good afternoon. I don't know for sure, or good evening, depending on where you live. Hanging out with some good friends here, Mr. Joe Filisko and Eric Noden. Good morning, fellas.
Right on.
Good
Good morning to
morning.
you.
Good to see you guys. I've been doing a series, loose series, I should say, of live streams with friends of mine in the music community and just chatting, just talking about either whatever comes up, but also relevant stuff happening in their world musically so we can all understand what's going on. But I think a lot of you already are aware of Joe Filisko and Eric Noden. If you're not, you should head to rootsduo.com to learn more about these fellas and their music. They're making some great music. It's really a lost art these days, what you guys do. Do you want to talk a little bit about, start maybe just talking a little bit about the type of music? I think we all can gather it in a minute, and you might actually be sharing some music today. But tell us a little bit about what your project is about, what you guys do.
Mr. Noden?
Yeah, well, Joe and I, we're both deeply into basically roots blues and roots music, especially a lot of the stuff from the 20s and 30s, like acoustic blues, and we write our own music, but it's based on a lot of these kind of classic styles. Sometimes, often very forgotten styles or obscure styles of music. We like to kind of keep the stuff going, but we put our own twist on it, write our own tunes that are harmonica and guitar friendly.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I've been a fan of y'all's music for many years now, over a decade, I would say. And one thing I know that you guys will pick up on if you have not been exposed to their music is just how well they work together as a duo, harmonica and guitar. It's something that we can all learn from. In fact, it's reminding me of this really cool upcoming festival, an online Roots Duo Fest. Before we talk about what that is, I want you guys to write down rootsduo.com, because I know that the information to that fest is at rootsduo.com, correct?
Correct.
But we're gonna talk more about it in a minute. But I thought, wouldn't it be fun? I see your guitar back there. Do you feel like playing a little bit, Eric, for us? And maybe anything you want. You could blow some harp if you got a rack. If you just want to play guitar, whatever it is that you might want to do to just share.
Yeah, sure. Let me grab the guitar and reconfigure here real quick.
Yeah. And while he's doing that, I would say good morning to everybody tuning in. Let me just check the stream real quick. All right, I see some folks tuning in. Good morning, Charlie. Thanks for being a member on my channel. Harpoleptic. Good morning to you. And Yuri Y the Best. Wow, these names are some good YouTube names there. All right, on that note, I'm going to turn it over to Eric now. I'm going to mute my mic so I don't interfere at all.
Well, hey, now, baby, why you got to talk this way? Hey, now, baby, why you got to talk this way? You know I can't stand to lose you, can't stand to lose you today. Well, life ain't easy. You know it gets tough sometimes. Life for you, baby, no matter what goes down. Through thick and through the thin, I'm gonna stick around. Days turn into months, months turn into years. Look right next to you and I'll be standing here. Together, walking down the street. I like it when we're together, walking down the street, walking and talking with the world right under our feet, walking and talking with the world right under our feet.
Yeah. Right. Sounded great, man. Something to know about these fellas, if you're less familiar, is that they each have their own thing going on outside of their duo work. They've got several projects going on, little things they are involved with. I'll just mention a couple things quickly, and you guys are welcome to go into more detail if you'd like. Well, Joe, you've got your hands in all sorts of stuff. Maybe you better you to talk a little bit about the things you do outside of the Roots duo. You could just fill us in.
Oh boy, I'm a troublemaker, all right.
Yeah.
I'm a big troublemaker. Well, I still kind of under the radar do harmonica work. That is upgrading predominantly like the Marine Band harmonica, which is my favorite in all the families of that. I also really am continually deeply interested in the history, the role of the harmonica in American music. That's something that has always intrigued me. I find it to be fascinating that something that is so popular has so little information about its past and its history. Yeah. So I like to study early players, early playing styles and approaches to playing. And I'm pretty serious about the teaching too, sharing that information with other people. And of course, that's a really big thing that Eric and I do together, aside from me doing it by myself. We've created a lot of different workshops on things that I think Eric and I both believe that are very hard for a player, guitar and harmonica, to wrap their head around. Yeah. And like, for example, we're going to be doing a workshop on the very difficult Mississippi Hill Country groove coming up this weekend. And that's something that I've almost heard, the number of people I've heard do it, I've probably can count on one hand. It's a pretty difficult groove.
I've heard you guys, I've heard this topic from y'all, and I've seen some of what you guys do musically under that umbrella of the Mississippi stuff. And it's actually some of my favorite stuff that y'all do. I think it's some of the most unique. Let's put it this way, folks. We're going to segue and talk about this event that Joe brought up. You're not going to find this type of content anywhere unless you connect with Eric and Joe and see what the benefit also is that they live within proximity to connect live. So they'll be together when they are performing, as opposed to today, and or teaching. They're in the same room, which is obviously a huge benefit that needs to happen. But let's switch over to Eric. Let's talk about this festival and anything that you're involved in outside, if you want to mention some of the things you're up to, because you are an educator as well as Joe, and you and I connect and we chat on the phone all the time about technology related things and teaching stuff. And we're always kind of brainstorming. Why don't you
Yeah.
both tell us what you're up to outside of just being a musician, and out performing and teaching? If there's anything else you want to add, and kind of tell us a little bit about this upcoming Roots Duo Festival that's an online event.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think like Joe, I like the history of blues and all these different styles. I'm really into the finger picking guitar because that's where I feel like I can get the most sound and out of my guitar, especially in a solo or duo situation. But what's cool about what Joe and I are doing with these workshops is it gives you a perspective as a guitar player or a harmonica player on the other instrument. So we're breaking down what the guitar does, what the harmonica does, and so the cool benefit you get from that is that then we talk about how those parts lock together, how it works together, which is great stuff to learn about if you want to learn how to play with other musicians, or whatnot, moving into the future, but we're doing this Roots Duo Festival, this coming weekend, March 22nd, 23rd. And we're teaching 3 workshops at it, guitar and harmonica workshops. So that's mostly what I'm wrapped up in, really right now is just getting ready
Yeah.
for the fest, and yeah, we're cranking out a bunch of material, and we're pretty excited about it. We're selling, passes so people who play guitar or harmonica can get access to all the events at a discounted price, So yeah, we're just
Yeah.
that's where my mind is at right now. But I also do solo stuff. I have YouTube channel where I'm just specifically teaching, guitar stuff as well. But that's really what we're up to. This combined, efforts and getting people to see how things work together, and
Yeah, it's amazing. So obviously, my audience here on YouTube, they're harmonica players, and some of them might be guitar players as well. I want to be very clear to you guys watching that it would behoove you to check this out, whether you play guitar or not, and you're just a harp player. Not just because there will be harmonica education and instruction going on, but because we have something to learn from all of it. And the more well rounded and educated you are about the other side of what you're interacting with, the better you become on your instrument and your role. So don't let that be like, is this for me or not? It's for you. You play harmonica, you should be there. You should check this out. And I love that you do a combination. You guys are doing this performance and education. I think it's a perfect thing. These will be recorded so folks can go back and at least check it out if they can't make it. Is that true?
that's correct. Actually, if you get the all access pass, you get like a year access to all the content.
Oh, hey, that's
study
a pretty good deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And if you
I'll,
buy a single ticket, it's a little different. It's like, I don't know, 60 days or 6 months or
well,
something, depending.
if you guys want to learn more about it, I'll update the video description. And while we're talking about education, harmonica education, Joe, I want to turn to you for a sec because you and I are doing something on May 17th. If you guys want to go ahead and just take a minute and mark that date down in your calendar, May 17th at 12 p.m. Central, Joe's going to join the Harmonica 123 platform and teach secrets and sounds of Sonny Terry. Anything you want to mention about that upcoming class?
Well, I think Sonny Terry is the greatest diatonic harmonica player that ever lived. And there are some things about how he plays, how the music comes out of him that are not intuitive. He just has got some ways that he does things that are very, very different than a lot of other players. And I hope to illuminate on some of that stuff so that folks can feel like they can more closely access some of those sounds unique to Sonny Terry. And I would say too, like a good way of thinking of Sonny Terry to help justify this very bold claim that I've made about him being the greatest, keep in mind that he could play a regular old blues 12 bar, 8 bar shuffle like all the other great blues harmonica players. But Sonny Terry had this solo thing that he did where he didn't need anybody, this kind of old timey thing that he did. And none of the other players, none of the other Sonny Boys or Walters could do anything like that. So if you really look at Sonny Terry, the big picture of him, he's an absolute force to be reckoned with.
Maybe you've got a sample of something you want to demonstrate or play a little bit in that vein.
Well, sure.
Or whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be in the vein. But I'll put that info in the video description for folks later as well if they want to learn more about how to find you in that class coming up May 17th. But you could do whatever you want, Joe. You don't have to do that.
No, I'm gonna do some Sonny Terry right on. So this is my attempt to recreate pure Sonny Terry with some of his peculiarities, some of the things that he did, and this is pretty standard Sonny Terry stuff.
Hey, all right, man. That's serious. There aren't many folks that play this style out there today. There's not a lot of people that can replicate the great Sonny Terry. And I love it, man. I'm so glad we're doing this together, that you're going to come on and help us understand a little more about that approach. It's something that not only can you have fun doing on your own, but obviously Sonny played with Brownie for years, and so you can bring this style into a duo setting quite well. It definitely lends itself more to a duo setting than it does anything else. You're not going to want to go to the old blues jam with the super reverbs on stage. Bring in some Sonny Terry probably. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be a great class. You know how I know that? Because Joe has taught a class on harmonica 1, 2, 3 a few times now, and it's always great. So
thank you.
Yeah, you guys are some of my favorite people out there, not just as musicians, but obviously as my good friends and people that contribute to the blues community. And you guys are givers. You're always looking for ways to give back. Quick story, years ago, a good mutual friend of ours, Bud Krantz, who has passed last August, I'll never forget this. I had an old Marine band, and Joe, you might recall this. And I said, hey, Buzz, like, I really want to get this thing tuned up and actually play it. And he looked at me and he goes, well, you need to go talk to Joe. And I said, I'm kind of scared to talk to Joe right now. I don't know if I should go talk to him. Maybe he's too busy. He's got this. And Buzz set me straight and said, man, you go talk to Joe. He's going to be happy to talk to you about this. And what happened? Joe took care of me and said, I'm going to take care of that little harmonica and send it back to you. And just because he cares about this stuff. You remember that, Joe?
A little bit, yeah.
It was a pre-war. Yeah. Yeah, man. And it was just such a cool thing because now I've got this pre-war that's in like great shape, and I don't play it too much, but it sits there knowing that I could pick it up whenever I want and step into, it feels like I'm stepping into the past or something. Like I'm playing this pre-war. Who knows? Like, I don't know. It's kind of cool. So on that note, is there anything else you guys want to share today or talk about? We got a couple folks tuning in live, which is nice to see. Hello to everybody out there. Somebody said, I saw a funny comment go by while you were playing. They said, Joe's tone is so fat it needs to go on a diet.
All right. Very nice.
I'm just checking the comments real quick. Again, a quick reminder that you can catch these fellas this coming weekend online. All you need is an internet connection. We live in this day and age where you can access these amazing musicians and their knowledge and be entertained and educated. So check it out, the Roots Duo Fest. I'll put all the info in the chat. And of course, May 17th, Joe returns to Harmonica 123 for a Sonny Terry class. And why not just go ahead and mark your calendar, folks, right now for one last thing that I want to mention today, which is August 12th through 16th. The SPA convention is coming up in San Antonio this year. spah.org is the place to go learn more and sign up. And while you're there, become a member of the organization. Don't just show up. Become a member because it's affordable, and what you're doing is ensuring that they can continue with their mission for years and years and pass this great stuff on to other generations to come.
All three of us will be there. We'll all be there.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And yeah, it's a pretty amazing, that conference. It's a pretty amazing bang for your buck too. You get an amazing array of harmonica, as much harmonica as you can a buffet of harmonica.
A buffet of harmonica. And if you've never been, Joe and Eric play an extremely active and important role besides running around teaching. Eric's working with performers, backing people up. They're doing the blues jam. They're hosting. So they're important. You see them all over the place. If you run into them, make sure you have a hot coffee or something that you can hand off to help them make it through the day. And that's what we got today. I'll be performing this year at SPA. I'm excited with my new project, the Dig 3, fairly new. It's now 5 years old. Gee, almost. So, but the Dig 3 will be there. I want to say it's Thursday night, and I'm excited about that as well. So thanks for joining us, everybody. We appreciate you. You guys make it a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining on the channel this morning. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, man.
Thanks.
We really appreciate it. It's great to see you.
You too, buds, both of y'all. And to everybody else, make it a great day, and we look forward to seeing you down the line.
Right on.